Princesa Gardens, which is the hotel that I stayed at while I was visiting Palawan, and specifically the city of Puerto Princesa. It's a beautiful hotel. It was a little bit more than what I typically spend. It was about, 250 bucks a night, but that was for the deluxe room. You don't have to spend that kind of money, but um, to start my journey, this was about visiting Tubbataha and the reef and going diving. And that was the purpose of this trip. But it was kind of nice to be able to fly in and stay at this very, very nice hotel. We had our own private entrance to the pool area. There was nice facilities, and oh, by the way, the staff there were wonderful. They really treat you just like royalty. So I can't say enough about that. So I decided to book a trip to the underground river, which is again on the island of Palawan, and Puerto Princesa is the city, the main city in Palawan. And along the way, we stopped to do a zip line. Although I opted not to do the zip line, I still found the beach there to be just absolutely beautiful. There was nobody there other than some other tourists that were in the area that opted not to do the zip line as well. In any case, I just went out with my camera and took a little bit of video of the beach area to just kind of give you an idea of the beauty that is Palawan Island. One of the hard lessons that I learned as well was when I booked the underground river tour. The tour guide or the tour director, the people that were essentially booking the tour through, I asked them, how long does it take to get there? And everything takes about 15 minutes, half an hour, and it was a bit of a joke. The trip to the underground river took about 2.5 hours to get there. It was another 20-minute boat ride just to get out to the entrance to the cave. So some advice: if you're going to book a tour in Palawan, make sure that you pin those hotel people down on the actual time. One of the other trips that I wanted to go on was up to El Nido, and again it was like, oh, it's just a couple of hours. Well, it turns out it's 5 hours just to get up there, so that's a 10-hour round trip. And then that's not including the time that you're spending there as well. So just be careful when you're talking to them. Make sure you pin them down on the amount of time. This river trip that I'm going to show you some footage on here coming up was actually about a 5-hour day. It was a couple hours just to get up there. It was another hour or so in the cave, and then another 20-minute ride back to the van to take us back to the hotel. It was a beautiful day, don't get me wrong. It's totally worth it. But if you're in a hurry, Palawan is not the place to be. You should go there and just accept the fact that the roads aren't that great. The traffic is in the city is kind of crazy too. But you don't go anywhere fast, so it's best to just go there with your eyes wide open. But make sure you do kind of pin them down when you're booking these tours to make sure that you know how long it's going to take to get up there and to get back, and spending some time there.
You're all right. Go ahead.
Huh? Yeah. Huh?
Oh, the boat.
So here you can kind of see, this is the entrance to the cave, and they load people in a boat and they basically paddle you into the cave. It is a truly extraordinary World UNESCO tour, and it is that level, and it is awesome. So as I mentioned before, it's about a 45-minute trip in and out of the cave. The tour guides, well, if they're even half as good as our tour guide was, they're extraordinary. They are extremely knowledgeable. Most of them are university educated people. They're experts in this cave. Um, how they were developed, um, just the studying that they're doing, the scientists that are going in there. You are only seeing just a very small portion of the cave, by the way, just enough where they can kind of paddle in. You can pay for an additional trip where they take you deeper into the cave. It requires a little bit of I guess, an introductory course into what to expect. But if that is something that you're interested in, I would strongly encourage you to do that. We didn't have time to do that, but I would have totally have done that had I known about that prior to getting there. But again, like I say, about a 45-minute trip in and out. You can see this was just some of the footage that I took. I took a ton of footage, but it is an absolutely beautiful experience. So as we were leaving the trip, or kind of heading back out to the beach where they picked us up on the boats, we ran into these little characters. They're kind of unique to this island. We were told to kind of watch out for them. They sometimes will bite or they'll take your food. But these, the two that I ran into here, were kind of fun. They didn't harass us, and we didn't harass them either. They seemed to dig the tourists, and well, we didn't get bit, and they were a lot of fun. You'll see these monkeys all over. So just as a warning, they apparently don't believe in mufflers for their boats. It was excruciatingly loud. So I recommend bring some earplugs, some hearing protection, or something to stick in your ears, because they were extremely loud. It was, I mean, it was literally painful. I had to have my fingers in my ears the entire time. It was just terribly loud. Just a fair warning. So I made a quick little stop on the way back to Puerto Princesa. I believe they called this the Elephant Cave or the Elephant Ear Cave. Anyway, we stopped, shot some video of this. I thought it was beautiful. And there was just, obviously, there's just, hundreds of these like little mountains and hills along the way. It was just, I thought it was beautiful, so they stopped. Well, not that Puerto Princesa wasn't beautiful, and we had a lot of fun on the river and seeing the cave and everything, but here's the real reason why we went to Puerto Princesa, and that was to get on this boat, the Infinity, and to visit and dive the Tubbataha Reef. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it definitely was worth the trip. It was a beautiful dive experience. And this boat that we stayed on, the Infinity, was awesome. The crew was, I'm not kidding you, they were top notch. They took us to some just great dive sites. I took a ton of footage, and I can't wait to share with you just some of the footage. I can't put it all in here because I took hours and hours of it, but um, what you're about to see is some beautiful, untouched reef in the Sulu Sea of the Philippines. And I'm excited to share this with you. And this boat was just so much fun. Like I say, the crew was awesome. And I met a lot of really super people, some very experienced divers, people from all over the world come to this spot to dive this kind of once in a lifetime dive. They don't let a lot of people into the area, so you got to wait your turn. So here we go. They're ready for you. Yes.
Jesse Beasley Reef. So there is one very, very popular question.
Why did you call it
Who
Jesse?
is Jesse Beasley?
Who the fuck is Jesse?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so if you try to Google it, it's not that easy to find, and I actually failed, but then we had some guest who's good at Googling, and then he found it. So in late 70s or early 80s, there was a research ship here in Southeast Asia, some marine research. They were looking for areas where, you know, it's possible to dive. It was like also diving, but more like a commercial diving sort of company. And they were looking for some reef that they heard from the fishermen, and one night they found it. They ran aground here, and the name of that captain of that vessel was, guess what? Yeah, so it's not the best way to name some geological feature after your name, you know, but that's what it is. So that's the name of the captain who ran aground here. There's no wreck, or maybe there is, but far away indeed. No, that ship didn't sink. You can try to again search, but it's on some forum of some divers, researchers. That's the information can be found. In most cases, when you start to Google it, everything is about liverboards and Tubbataha. So Jesse Beasley is a very, very small reef. So it's maybe about like 100 meters across and maybe about 200 meters long. On both sides, on east and west, it's just a wall going down super deep. On more south and northeast, there are two plateaus which go like two levels. So first is the first level.